Alright, so this is the MSI MD271UL. It's a part of that modern series of monitors that is geared towards professional use, so content creators and graphics designers, and it's their flagship monitor. It's a 27-inch 4K panel, and if you are a content creator or graphics designer, you know how important a really good monitor can be. And MSI is really popular for their gaming monitors, but they also make monitors that are for professionals, and this is their flagship panel. I've been using it for the past 2 weeks, and in this video I want to share my experience with you guys. So with that being said, let's get started. So let's start off with the design and build quality. And yes, I'm not going to ignore the fact that this looks super similar to the Apple Studio display, but that's actually a good thing. The Studio display from Apple costs you well over $1,000, but this is going to cost you 30,000 rupees in India, which is about $500, so half the price, and you're getting a really good monitor for that price. It looks really good, and the build quality on this monitor is also very solid. The stand is a single piece of aluminum and it is curved. It's dense, it's heavy, and it's a really good quality stand in my opinion. The rest of the monitor is actually made out of plastic. Now on the back, if you look at it, it looks like a brushed aluminum finish, but it's actually plastic. But the build quality on the monitor, as I said, is pretty decent. Now you're not going to be moving around the monitor or touching it a lot, so I think that's not really a deal breaker. You have really thin bezels on the top as well as sides, and you have a small chin at the bottom. Now the stand isn't going to provide you a lot of adjustment. It only gives you one type of adjustment, that is going to be tilt. So you can tilt the monitor from 5 degrees to 20 degrees, and the monitor is missing a VESA mount option, so you cannot mount it on a monitor arm. And there is no height adjustment here, which I think is kind of a deal breaker, but the Studio display from Apple doesn't have height adjustment either. You'll have to buy a stand separately for that. So I think it makes sense. Now, if you want to, adjust the height of this monitor, I think you should get a monitor riser or a monitor stand where you can prop up the monitor and get the desired height. But overall, in terms of looks and aesthetics, this monitor is a 10 on 10. If you have a simple, minimal setup with less cables and stuff, if you want less clutter, with a really minimalistic look, I think this monitor is going to be a perfect choice. Now, talking about the I/O on the back, you've got 2 HDMI ports, and these are going to be HDMI 2.0B, so you're going to get the full output. There is a DisplayPort 1.2A as well. It's not 1.4, but that's only for high refresh rate, so it's not really a deal breaker here. And you can also get output via USB Type-C. This monitor has a USB Type-C port on the bottom, so you can get display output as well as power. It supports 65-watt PD charging. So if you have a MacBook or any laptop that has a USB Type-C port, you can connect it via that. You'll get display output, and you'll also charge the laptop via the monitor itself, which is a really good feature. It's really useful in my opinion. It just takes off one more cable from your desk, and you also have a headphone jack and the power input. That's pretty much it. Everything else is really clean on the back. Now, one area where MSI could have done a lot better is in the controls and OSD department, because these buttons actually suck. There is no joystick here to control the OSD. There are 5 individual buttons, and one of those is the power button for this monitor. So sometimes accidentally, when you're trying to change some setting, you're gonna turn the monitor off. It does take some time to get used to this layout, and I would have appreciated MSI just adding a joystick instead of all of these buttons. They do have the MSI Display Kit software that does support most of the settings and stuff. And talking about the settings, you do have a lot of adjustment options from basic to advanced. You can change the display mode from cinema, movie, sRGB. There's a bunch of other modes. You can put up custom modes if you wanted to. You also have the basic setups like brightness, contrast, saturation, hue, sharpness. All of that is there. It's just that it's kind of hard to do with these buttons. But overall, the OSD is well laid out, and if you get used to the button layout, you can do your changes and stuff pretty easily. And this monitor is also missing speakers, which means if you want sound output, you're gonna have to use external speakers or headphones. But I'm assuming if you're doing anything serious like video editing or music production, you already have speakers and headphones with you. And inbuilt monitor speakers aren't that great anyway. And MSI has taken these decisions, they've cut cost in these areas to actually give you a good panel. And talking about that panel, you've got a 27-inch 4K IPS panel, and it's a 10-bit panel here, so you're going to get really good color reproduction. And the contrast ratio on this monitor is 1200:1, and it's got 400 nits of peak brightness, and it covers 139% of the sRGB color space, 95% of Adobe RGB, and 99% of DCI-P3 color space. So if you're doing video editing, graphics design, or just watching videos and movies in general, your experience is going to be good. And using MSI's display kit software, you can dial in the exact amount of colors you want on this monitor. So you can change the color calibration using the software. So if you have a specific workflow, if you want, a specific color to be popping more on this monitor, you can do that. Now, it is a matte display, and there's two types of people who like glossy displays and matte displays. And I agree that when you have a glossy panel, it gives you more vibrant colors, the colors pop a lot, and the monitor seems brighter. But having a matte display means that you avoid all sorts of reflections and glares, which is really good because they can be distracting while working. And MSI has gone with this matte display. So even when you actually tilt the display, the reflection isn't that much, and it's actually a really good thing in my opinion. For indoor use, this is good, and there are glossy displays in the market, but they do, give you all sorts of reflections which can be distracting. So overall, my experience working on this monitor, watching videos, movies, and even playing story-based games was actually fun. Now, this is not a gaming monitor in any way. It's only 60 Hz. I would have liked it to be 90 Hz, but again, it's a 4K panel. So it's already high resolution. So if you're playing games like GTA 5, or if you're just playing story-based games like Spider-Man, Miles Morales, all of that is actually really fun. Since it's a really high quality display, everything is really sharp, everything is really, crisp. Text is especially really good on this monitor. If you're reading a lot, this monitor gives you really sharp and crisp text. So that's that. And overall, if you're looking for a monitor that's really good looking, aesthetically, design-wise, if you want something similar to the Apple Studio display, I think this is your only option in the market. Now, if you want height adjustability, waist mount compatibility, all of those features, you can go with the other options in the market. But I think MSI's MD271UL is a really good choice for people who are looking for a really good panel with really good design. Now, that's that. In terms of pricing, it's about 30,000 rupees. I'll link the monitor in the description down below so you guys can check it out. But that's pretty much it for the review, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed and found this video helpful. If you did, go ahead and smash the like button, as well as subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you guys don't miss out on future uploads. Let me know in the comments down below if you have any questions or queries. What monitor are you using right now, and what are your thoughts on this MSI monitor? I'll be there replying to you guys. But with that being said, my name has been Yusuf. You guys have been awesome. Stay awesome, keep smiling. A happy new year, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.